feel free to keep your video on, but if not, you can just turn it off. And as I say, we'll stop the recording at the questions and answers and stuff, and then we can have a bit more of an informal conversation. But yeah, thank you all for joining us today. Yeah, we're really excited to share some more information about the festival and hopefully learn a bit more about how you might like to get involved as well. So just to begin with, what is the Fife Climate Festival? So the Fife Climate Festival is a celebration of community climate action filled with inspiring and interesting events and activities throughout Fife. So all over the region, we're really keen to kind of celebrate all of the good practice that's happening and also hopefully encourage those that are maybe new to it to also have a go at getting involved. The festival has been designed to celebrate, as I say, all of the good work that's happening and really kind of show that we can all do a little bit to make a difference and also hopefully inspire some positive action to tackle the climate emergency. Building on the first Fife Climate Festival, which some of you may have been involved with earlier this year, we really wanted to continue that vein of kind of sharing out ideas, learning from each other, but particularly in this festival, focus on hope for the future. So really thinking about imagining a world where climate action thrives and what this could mean here in Fife. So really it's in the spirit of kind of learning and sharing and actually kind of making a plan for subsequent years ahead. What can we do collectively to take more climate action? So in terms of the festival, the key dates that we need to know, or you need to know to kind of take away, are that it kicks off on the 21st of September and running through to the 5th of October. So over a kind of 2-week period, which loosely kind of aligns with what is typically around Scotland's Climate Week as well. But over this 2-week period, we're really keen to showcase all of the good stuff that's going on in Fife and host a whole range of activities, which we'll touch on later. But the festival itself is essentially kind of, there's 3 main components to it. So there's the trail element, which I'll provide a little bit of information on next. We're also running some competitions. And so to try and galvanise and share some of these amazing ideas for the future. And also ending the festival on a fun day and gathering. So a chance to really kind of also come together with the trail event being kind of dispersed all over the region, ending the festival with a sort of gathering event that allows people to actually all come together in one place as well. So the first part of the festival is around the trail element. So this is really about a celebration of climate action across Fife. As I mentioned earlier, it is about building on what was established in the first Fife Climate Festival earlier this year, and is really about encouraging groups, organisations, and everyday residents to get involved across the region to organise events and also take part in events as well. So the Climate Action Fife partnership, of which Craig's mentioned, there's 12 partners involved. They'll all be also putting on events, and these will include things like lead cycles, coastal walks, apple pressing, film screenings, and lots of other things. But we were really keen to, as I say, follow in the footsteps of the Hub's first festival in terms of really opening that out so that we essentially create what is like an equivalent Doors Open Day style or Open Studios style festival across the region. So most importantly, any community group based in Fife or any national group with activities in Fife can take part. So as I say, we're really keen to see input from community groups, but also even in the public sector and the third sector as well. Anyone who's working in Fife is more than welcome to put on events during this festival, and also that kind of be part of the programme really, because that's what this is all about, is kind of pulling things into one place and allowing Fifers to know what's going on the doorstep for them. It's also a chance to explore active travel routes in Fife, whether that's by walking, wheeling or cycling. So whilst I suppose we're creating this programme of events that are going to be popping up all over the region, we thought it was a really nice opportunity to celebrate some of these routes, whether it be like the Pilgrim Way or the Coastal Path, or even just some kind of key cycle networks. So we're actually looking at putting together a few kind of lead cycles between venues. So watch the space for some information coming out on those in the coming months. So that's the kind of key bits around the trail. But a little bit more. So what makes a festival trail event, you might be wondering? Well, this is really any activity that promotes climate friendly or environmental action and gets people talking about climate. Um, so we've just popped some examples there up on the screen, but by all means, this is not an exhaustive list, and we're always open to new and innovative ideas. But as I say, these could be things from active travel events like cycle training rides or walks. Repair cafes is another great one, and there's some really brilliant work going on across Fife in different places on that. Swapping events, so whether that be clothes, toys, seeds, tools, garden tours as well as another one. And we've got through the Climate Action Fife partnership project, we've got our climate friendly gardens as well. Climate friendly cooking demonstrations. It could be about tree planting, albeit we're just kind of early in the season. Nature activities, open days, film screenings, networking events, talks around climate conversations, you name it. Anything, as I say, that promotes that kind of climate friendly or environmental action is very much welcome to be part of our programme. But I'll now pass over to Craig, who's going to just chat us through some of the fantastic events that were part of the first Climate Festival, just to give you a flavour of some ideas. So I'll pass over to Craig, and Craig, just let me know when you need me to hit the next slide.
Perfect, thank you. Yep, so coming off that fantastic list that Kiara shared, here's some visuals to bring it to life and help you imagine what your event could look like. So in the festival, the first festival that we held, we had over 50 events take place. So I've just picked out a few from the amazing feedback that we got. So the first one to share with you is Charlestown Limekilns and Pattismuir Nature Group. So they decided to run a series of litter picks, and they actually used our small grant to purchase litter pickers. And they ran 7 beach cleans across 7 different beaches in their local area. They recorded all the litter that they found and reported it to Marine Conservation Society and also to SEPA. So it actually was making a difference to their communities. And they were able to get the message across to participants about the issues of marine litter, about the need to monitor sewage outlets, and also that reduction of single-use plastic message too. And the cool thing about this event is that those litter pickers as well, they go on to be used on the group's Beach Guardian initiative. So they'll be cleaning beaches for a long time to come. And in total, they actually engaged 52 volunteers that day, both adults and children's, and people from all parts of their community. So it really was a fantastic community climate effort. Next slide, please. Next up, we had Sustainable Cooper. So they decided to hold an open day and to celebrate their local river, the River Eden. They ran this as part of the Climate Festival, and it was just a chance to celebrate and give participants the chance to experience the many opportunities around volunteering that the river and Sustainable Cooper give them. So they had 12 stalls from a number of different organisations. They invited along the Deer Centre, Bug Life Scotland, Fife Coast and Countryside Trust, and the community in Cooper organised lots of creative children's table, including this amazing banner. I keep hearing different people talking to me about the River Eden banner. And it just allowed the kids to bring to life their local river and think about what could it be if we all got involved to look after it a bit more. So they stuck on fish, trees, and all the other creatures. And then in the afternoon of this open day, they had some speakers, one from the Eddiston Water Project, I guess giving them ideas about what they could do with their own work. They had people from the Otter Recovery Project and the River Eden Partnership all give talks and inspiration and celebrate the opportunity to volunteer on the river. And they actually attracted over 250 people on that day. And it really did have a positive outcome for their group because they had 40 people sign up as volunteers on the project. Next example, please. So this one is people learning about Tayport, people learning about nature in Tayport or plant. And they decided to do a climate quiz. So they had a number of different rounds on climate facts, on books, film, and music, but all with a climate twist. They had prizes that were sustainable and environmentally friendly, from seed packets to herbal teas, organic and fair trade chocolate, wooden brushes and bamboo toothbrushes. And they served some lovely buffet-style food, and they encouraged people to bring their own beer. They found that by making this climate conversation focused around a quiz and an activity, it really got people talking about climate in a way that they wouldn't have previously, and it allowed them to talk openly without the stress of feeling threatened or picked on or guilty. And it made it fun, obviously. And they were intrigued, and it really did bring up debate. Some of the quiz questions. Imagine a quiz where you could really get together and debate the answers afterwards, but that was encouraged. And it actually boosted support for the group as well. So it got people interested in what plant we're doing, and would have got more people down to the project there too. So it's double benefits and benefits all round. And I think I've got one more example. And finally, Grow West Fife in Couris. So they decided to hold two events on the same day. They had the seed paper workshop, which taught people how to make paper from old toilet roll and egg boxes, any old recycling paper. And they put wildflower seeds embedded within the paper as well. And they made lots of different gifts for people, like gift tags, postcards, and things. They also talked about the need to reduce landfill waste and discussed carbon emissions associated with waste and paper products in particular. And they just got that message across that small actions can bring multiple benefits, especially when you add them all up. And the best bit of feedback they gave was that one attendee even decided to use their newfound paper making skills to make the place settings for their wedding that was just about to come up. And then they also ran a More Than Just Mud, which is about assessing soil health workshop. So they invited Dr. Liz Larkin along to learn about the importance of healthy soils, first of all, and how it helps in successful growing, and the important role that soil plays in sequestering carbon. They taught them how to measure pH, nutrients, and taught them about soil structure. And it was really good because this links into all the work that they do at Grow West Fife, where they did dig free gardening, and it also got the science across, and it also helped them to reach that wider audience too and get people attracted to their garden. So that was the final example. And the last thing to say about those examples, all those groups, they ran their events, they were funded through the Community Climate Grants, Small Grants Fund. So it's just a little bit of money that's available that I'll talk about next. Here we go, perfect, right on cue, which helped them just to make their events a reality. So yeah, there's the Small Grants Fund. There is two pots available within the Community Climate Grants. You can go and have a look, but it's the Small Grants one that relates more to the festival. So it's for any group who would like to promote climate activities or climate events to their communities. And it is kind of aimed at letting groups try for the first time, maybe groups who haven't talked about climate change before. Go on, have a go, and here's a little bit of money to help you to do it. The activity should take place in the festival period, so that's the 21st of September to the 5th of October. The one thing to note is that the deadline for applying to this fund is coming up very soon. It's the 16th of June, so that's the end of the day on Sunday. So if you do want to go for it, then I would recommend being quick. And we also have some other things to help you run your events too. So we've got downloadable resources, particularly aimed at how to run sustainability events on the FCAN website. So for example, it's got things about how to run a sustainable plastic-free event, how to promote your festival. It's got templates for risk assessments and photos permission. And also there's a bit of information on there about how to have a climate conversation. As we know, sometimes it's a bit daunting to think about how you're going to do that. Well, there's some good resources there, particularly the Talking Climate Handbook. And if you've been inspired by the quiz idea, you can download Tayport's climate quiz as well from the website. So the address is on the screen there. And there are lots of actually really good climate-related resources on both the FCAN and the Climate Action Fife website too. So do go in and have a look. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Craig. And so you might be wondering, how do I get involved and how do I sign up? Well, for this climate festival, we've tried to kind of streamline it so it's just a simple online form. So if you do have an idea, I'll just come out of the presentation in a minute and just briefly kind of scroll through the form. But we've tried to keep it as simple as possible, and also just to note that Michelle and I and Craig are all here to like help you out. So if you do encounter any issues at all, please just reach out or drop us an email, and we will try and support you through that. But just to kind of briefly show you what's involved in that, I will kind of share my screen again. And so hopefully Michelle and Craig can confirm if I'm showing the right screen. But essentially on the Climate Action Fife website, under the kind of festival section, it will take you to, as I say, an online form that you can just pop in the details about your event. So just your kind of key contacts, so whoever is kind of leading on the event, and a contact address. your organisation name, and a little bit about your event. And this is really, we've put some little prompt questions of things just to kind of think about, which are good to kind of share. It's really useful to have an event image as well. And by doing all this and filling in this form, what it will allow us to do is like help promote your event as part of a wider program. So that's kind of why we're asking for it. And also just your kind of start and end date, any costs that might be associated with it, and also any event locations. Also, if you are having a sort of like booking tickets to attend your event, there's a chance to kind of put the link in there as well. And what that does is it just allows, as I say, people to be directed then to your site, but it can be promoted as part of the wider programme. And it also just asks a quick couple of questions around accessibility, just so people know what the kind of location and facilities are. So as I say, quite a short, simple form, but by all means, please do get in touch if you have any issues at all in terms of filling that out and completing it. So I will just stop sharing for now. And I will pass back to Michelle, who's going to take us through some of the other parts of the festival.
Thank you, Ciara. So as Ciara and Craig mentioned, Fife Climate Festival will focus on hope for Fife's future. It aims to imagine a world where climate action thrives, and we want your help to show what that could mean for Fife. So to do that, we have launched Fife Climate Festival competitions. All aspects of the competitions respond to the overall theme of the festival about hope and encouraging positive imaginings for the future of Fife. To reach a wide audience and to find exciting, creative, engaging ways to talk about climate change where all Fifers are encouraged to get involved. There are three main strands to the competitions. First of all, so the black flyer there, that is our creative competition. It's a very open category, and this competition strand has got something for everybody in Fife, whether you're into photography or songwriting, poetry, writing short stories, you're in a band, you like making sculptures, inventing, engineering, designing. Show us what your hopeful vision of Fife's future is, and it should be inspired by the theme of what could possibly go right. The general entries should be sent to competition@climateactionfife.org.uk, and the closing date for the competitions is the 1st of August there. The second and third strands, if you like, of the competitions are the postcards from the future. That's kind of split into two categories as well. So we've got the 5 to 12 years, which is including STEM festivals in primary schools in Fife. We have the leading competition as part of that week. And it's based around Fife Climate Forest, and their kind of tagline is Connect, Grow, Thrive. We're inviting you and other Fifers to share your vision for Fife's climate forest. Think about the words connect, grow, thrive, and create some art that fits on a postcard and leave a message for Fife's trees, woods and forests. As I say, two categories here, one for school-age children 5 to 12 in primary school there, and another that anyone can enter, is quite open there. We've also got some teacher and youth worker resources that go along with that to support people to get involved and to do their activities and make them as exciting as possible. And the winners of all these competition strands will be announced at our gathering event on the 5th of October, and that is going to be in Silverburn. And we're also hoping to showcase entries and performances throughout the trail potentially. We're looking forward to see. We're excited what's going to come through. And on to the next slide then, please, Ciara. So I mentioned there about showcasing at the gathering on Saturday, 5th of October. That's where we're hosting our festival finale at Silverburn in Leven. So after a fortnight of brilliant events, we'll have one last hurrah to bring Fife Climate Festival to a close in style. We want to celebrate the fantastic festival and raise awareness of the climate emergency. We're giving people in Fife the opportunity to take part in fun activities and information stalls, and to show them how they can get involved in climate action. And this day again will be in 2 parts. So throughout the day, the afternoon will be featuring a range of activities for all ages, information stalls, and we'll have a big marquee and a series of smaller tents in our festival village. There'll be activities for grown-ups and adults alike. Storytelling, lead rides, nature walks, scavenger hunts, yoga, face painting. This is a list that is growing and growing. Lots of interesting things happening there. And then the second part of the day is a thank you and celebratory ceilidh and a harvest supper. We want to thank all of the climate community groups and organisations that have contributed to Fife Climate Festival, and the staff and volunteers who work tirelessly all throughout the year to share the climate message in the local communities. So this will be an invitation event where people who have been involved can come along and celebrate all the hard work. Very much looking forward to that. I'm sure we'll all be in need of it after an amazing fortnight. Thank you, Chiara.
Great, thanks, Michelle. And so that has been a whistle-stop tour through a lot of stuff and a lot of dates, which we will follow up with an email to kind of remind people of and pull out the kind of key things, and we can also circulate around the slides and note this is also going to be available on our website as well. But we'll maybe just pause on the recording and then we can kind of take any questions and answers from those that are on the call today. Just stop sharing.